Even in the darkest moments, they close on that shine of the light. I can make an earthquake nervous. I can make the sun wear a visor. I can make a wise owl see me as a daily advisor.
Well, even with all the buildings along the Las Vegas Strip and all the action here, this is one of the city's biggest attractions. Allegiant Stadium opened back in 2020.
Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Las Vegas Raiders.
And off we go from Las Vegas.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Rodgers going to throw.
Cleaned it out left to Dobbs.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Up the middle, Jones. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. Now Rodgers.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now it's Rodgers. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Packers.
Christian Watson.
His 5th touchdown now on the year.
And the Packers are on the board first here in Vegas. Well, they said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at about the 32. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The Raiders at a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they come in with fresh legs. They got the extra time off thanks to an early season open week.
And usually your hope is that your open week comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get your fresh legs back, you have to take that time and run with it. And that's what they're trying to get done here.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
This defense for the Packers, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's what you would consider a goal for each and every defense, because if you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team because you expect your offense to score more than that. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course, but I'd have to say a very solid performance.
He gets this to Devontae Adams. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 29-yard line. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. On 2nd and 2, Carr. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Raiders. Darren Waller from 21 yards away.
And the Raiders are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, the football changing hands here, and as this offense takes the field, Charles, they'd be fine with more of the same on this upcoming drive. Last time out, they found the end zone for 6.
And they're certainly hoping for more of the same, but the game plan, I doubt it'll just be a carbon copy of the last drive because I think this offense is ready to break out some new wrinkles and try some new things that might be hidden in their playbook. They want to use that confidence to its advantage while also keeping the defense from anticipating what's up next.
A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Rodgers now to throw.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. This is taken at the 18. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10.
You don't see that too often, Charles. He punted that away and then hustled up to make the stop as well.
Yeah, because oftentimes they serve as their own safety after punting it. You want to be the last guy, but he decided to get involved in the action, didn't he? And what a spark that's got to provide for the rest of his team when they see their punter out there making a nice hit.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
These two teams all tied after one. They'll send a receiver in motion left. Now this time, Carl throw. Open man is Ross, complete. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run.
Down the right sideline, and he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
John Ross, 43 yards.
And the Raiders have taken the lead. But not only, Charles, did he beat double coverage to make the catch, and then as soon as he did, locked his gaze upfield and made sure to reach the end zone.
Go grab your dictionary, partner, look up determination, and his picture is going to pop right up. How about him getting through multiple defenders, finding his way through coverage, and making sure he got to the end zone? That's a big-time play right there.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. The Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll try the right side with Jones. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Coming off every player's friend, the open week from last weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Even if you're coming off of a loss as they did, the open week is exactly what you need after you kind of get over it a little bit, right? Rest up the mind, rest up the body, get yourself ready to go. And they have to be eager to play again, especially since they lost the last time out.
And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now Carr. Looking deep for Adams. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's A.J. Cole now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing is Rodgers. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
Brandon, what's even more impressive is that came against double coverage. He gashed them with that reception, even with the extra focus that he drew from the defense.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory. Down at the 33. And inside give to Jones. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Rodgers.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right, then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Now Ryan Suckup will come on and try the field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. Suckup's kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal, you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. On 1st down, Carr. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. And into the end zone, it's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown.
Well, this defense, Charles, we know how good they are, but they've been beat a couple of times in this game. However, they got the latest laugh.
And how about the way they hung in there? Because you're exactly right. They're not used to being dented as they've been so far in this game. But what they just did there with that pick 6, that's the equivalent of what was happening to them. They're throwing touchdown passes against them. Okay, we'll take one back against you.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs.
Eric Stokes in on the tackle.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Once again, it's Jacobs. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed 1st down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
And he's got room. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. They've done a pretty good job containing him up until this drive, and until that run, there was no containing him at all.
Yeah, you're right about that. He finally popped free. But we didn't have to be in their practice sessions. We didn't have to be in their meeting rooms. They planned for a run like that to happen, maybe a couple of them. But what did they tell their guys all week? You know what they said. Move on to the next play. That one just happened. Let it go.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for a Las Vegas first down. Well, they gave themselves options there on the 3rd down play, and were able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
Into the red zone. It's Carr. And it's caught.
Oh, he's going to be brought down a few yards short of the goal line, and they're going to be unable to stop the clock from here. So close yet so far, and that's going to be how this first half will come to an end.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this 3rd quarter of action. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the 3rd quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the 3rd quarter.
Play action. Now it's Carr. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
He only gave them an instant to react. It was a classic case of if you blink, you missed him. Off of the line and to the quarterback in just a couple of seconds. Running back only had a moment to react and attempt to throw a block.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll get this up only to about the 33.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr.
And the Raiders have retaken a 3rd quarter lead.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will make this a 4-point game. Is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
Keyshawn Nixon now from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just already know our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion. 3rd and 7 now.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers.
He's going to launch this deep for Watson.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown.
Christian Watson
with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year.
And the Packers have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter.
Extra point up and good by Succop. And that gives them a 3-point lead. Now it's Ryan Succop on after the touchdown to kick it away.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They had seized the lead there for a little bit with a starting drive in the 3rd quarter, but a moment ago the touchdown that puts them back behind.
So their defense is under siege a little bit right now because they have not able to solve their opponents. So they've got to keep hammering away on offense and try and win this one in what appears to be a shootout.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On play action, it's Carr. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them. They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
101 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Shotgun now for Carr. And Waller taking it in over the middle. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 38-yard line. The Raiders on the move, a couple of big plays in succession.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Carr. And he will find his man on the outside.
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They'll run right here with Jacobs. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Carr. And that's complete to Adams. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line.
Carr finding his former college teammate Adams there for the Raider first.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Carr. This is caught. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Jacobs will cross the line. He's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
The Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. And that will be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. Yeah, that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines.
The Packers take over 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
Nate Hobbs there to bring him down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Succop's kick is good, and that'll bring him back within a point. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. And this defense here going to burn their second timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
From midfield, here's Carr. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Picked off by Eric Stokes.
A seismic shift in momentum here in the 4th quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. So after the INT, it's Rodgers.
This one swung out here to Jones.
Now he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. And now defensively they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Rodgers. Being chased out left. And he'll just get rid of it.
Oh, I saw this one with defensive eyes because even as he escaped the pocket and bought time, the coverage stayed tight. Nothing broke down. Throwing it away, that was his only option.
So 3rd down, and a field goal from here would be right about 50 yards as they try to get closer. Now Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
And they'll try to squeeze in one more play here before the 2-minute warning. Now Rodgers got to have this one.
On a huge mistake late, it's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders have just about sewn up this football game.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And still a little bit of time left, but the defense can't stop the clock, so 3 kneel downs should be enough to finish this one off. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Give him 8 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Just got a heck of a show, partner. This was a close game for a long time. Close at half, close down the stretch. Home team finds a way to get it done. A narrow victory.
Yeah, they finished with a flourish, didn't they? Because there were times where each side looked like they were the better team out there. And the outcome was in doubt for much of this game. Every snap seemingly more important than the previous one. Great effort from the guys visiting. But in the end, how about those guys in their home stadium finding a way to win?
So for Las Vegas, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Buffalo Bills next week. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.